We're going to start today kneeling on your hands and knees. Game plan right now, if I can remember this for a whole half hour, I want to keep connecting you to sensation. At times, it's going to be what you're feeling in your environment, like your hands and your legs against the ground, but some of it's also going to be enhancing your sense of what you feel inside of yourself so that you can have a reference and build your body awareness even when body parts aren't touching the ground or the wall. So as we go down into our starting position, I often use the image that you are a table, which isn't perfectly true because I'd like you to actually be neutral in your spine. So the better image to imagine is that there's a skewer running through the center of your body, right through the crown of your head, coming out the tailbone end, and that your head, your ribs, and your hips are all anchored onto that skewer so they're even with each other. If you push your body away from the floor using both your legs and your arms, you should also be able to sense your shoulder blades existing on your ribs. Now let's try to keep that alignment of the head, ribs, and hips and hinge your body forward and back. I'm going to go farther forward than where I started so that I'm also warming up the wrists. Try to continue pushing away from the floor. So even as you have that forward backwards motion, we always have a sense of lifting up, not letting any of those three landmarks sag towards the ground. One more time. Okay, I'm going to turn towards you. You can just stay how you are. Now I want you to turn your hands so that your fingertips are pointing together and bring your hands out just a little wider than your shoulders. My hips are still roughly above my knees. I'm going to go into, let's call that like a modified push-up. A real weird push-up. As you're doing this, I'm still focusing on warming up and stretching out your wrists. So the down part shouldn't be too hard, but the pushing up towards straight elbows is where you're getting that stretch. Okay, go back to both of them bent slightly, and I want you to shift your weight side to side. My hips are coming with me, which I know you can't really see my hips, but if you look at my legs, they're rocking back and forth. One more to each side. All right, now you're going to turn your hands the other way. So my fingertips are pointing out. You're going to have to play with your width on this one. I still am wider than my shoulders, but I don't have a perfect formula for your body or mine. I got to play too. Go back to that push-up. Now, when you go down into the push-up, this is what you'll feel right away. You can't go lower. I feel like I look like a bug in this position. And then when you push back up, you get your relief. All right, so I'm lowering into that stretch and lifting up. And all this work we're doing around your wrist is trying to cover, I guess, all the reasons wrists get tight. I'm usually assuming it's computer stuff, but sometimes it's just gripping and actually lifting, which is a different effect because you're using different arm positions. Shall we go back side to side again? Let's bend your knees. Well, your knees are, your elbows, and just rock it back and forth. Have a little playful, bouncy feel. I do want you to load the weight side to side, but not be stuck there. So I'm just visiting, bouncing right off. Your shoulder blades are free to wiggle to follow this. One more to each side, and relax. Come up into a tall kneeling position now. Reach your arms out to the side and bring your hands just a little forward of your shoulders so you can see your fingertips and your peripheral vision. We're going to twist side to side, doing 3 pulses in each direction. I want you to take a big breath in to sit up nice, or kneel up nice and tall. As you exhale, rotate to the side, ringing out for 3. Take it a little deeper, 2. Further for 1. Now big inhale back to the center. Other side. Rotate 1, grow taller, twist 2, and taller, twist 3. Inhale back to the center. Exhale as you rotate. Ring it out, 2 and 3. Big inhale, expand the body. Exhale to twist. Further for 2. You got the pattern. Now we're going to add bending your back elbow. So rotate as you push that elbow back. 2. You'll feel a little more work around your shoulder blade. Back to the center. And exhale to rotate. Press it back. 2. Stay nice and tall. 3. Back to the middle. I find once I bend the back elbow, I'm more inclined to lean backwards in my whole body. Try to resist that. Feel that stacking again. Hips, ribs, and head right over your knees. Back to the middle. One more each way. And press. Deeper for 2. Keep tension out of the top of the shoulders. Back to center. Last time for 3. Deeper for 2. And further for 1. Back to the center. Before you go down on your back, just do a little wiggle. In case you were taking tension in your shoulders. All right, to the floor, to the floor. We're going to do hip rolls now, but I want to play around back to this game of sensing yourself. So often I'm using cues to try to prevent a mistake from happening. So we're going to play around with one of the regions of mistakes to see if you can bring attention into what I'm always worried about or looking for. So I'd like you to start out doing a regular hip roll to get into a bridge. Leave a little space between your knees. You want your feet pretty close to your hips. When you're ready to activate, you're going to take an exhale breath, curl your hips to start to roll off the mat, and keep lifting up till you make a straight line through your ribs, your thighs to your knees. And that's our normal bridge. Just be here, just keep breathing. When I make this position, I'm trying to tighten both the glutes and the hamstrings. They're all working together as the hip extensors to hold my pelvis up in the air. Now, the area I usually see trouble in happens up here. I cued you to be in a straight line, so hopefully if you have, you still can feel your abdominals giving you some support. Now, we're going to play around. Your arms can still be down. I'm just going to put mine here to show you. I'm going to lift higher when I inhale so my ribs flare up, and then when I exhale, I'm going to bring those ribs back down until I'm straight. Just a little motion. Inhale, pop the ribs. Exhale, drop the ribs. As I'm going up and down, if you don't know what small or big is, because this is new to you, pay attention to what's going on at the neck and the shoulders. Even when my ribs have lifted past that point, I'm still not on my neck. I still have pressure on the shoulder blades. It's just more like top of shoulder blades, all of shoulder blades. Two more. I'm hoping by now you feel your hamstrings a little bit from holding this bridge for so long. Drop it. Now roll all the way back down. Let's do one more set of that, then I'll make it a regular exercise. Okay, so rolling up, get to that bridge, and then just explore, but now drive it through breath. So as you inhale, let your ribs open to that lift. Exhale, hug the ribs together to pull them back down. Inhale, fill with the air to rise. Exhale, compress. Let's contain, get that straight line. Inhale, lift the chest, keep those glutes active. Exhale, pull the ribs in just one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, pull it in. Now roll down through your spine. All right. Making a continuous motion now, we're going to roll up, create that little bit of arch on the fall back down. Take an exhale, curl your hips off the mat, go to the bridge, allow that arch to come in, and drop your hips down. Exhale, roll up. Inhale to open the chest and fall. Exhale, roll through the spine. Inhale, sink, and just one more time, rolling up and sinking down. Let's do that the other way. So I'm going to keep this bridge, just go straight up with the hips and roll back down. As the curve comes into your back, you push those hips up, exhale down, float up, and roll through the spine. And just one more time, arching up, keep a little weight on those big toes, and roll back down again. Let's take your arms up to the ceiling. I want to mobilize your shoulders, but with a different perspective on the whole thing. So let's start something simple. Just go into a scissoring pattern where one arm's going overhead, one arm's going down to your hip. As we do this motion, I mean, this will stretch out your lats. It's its own legit exercise, but your focus can be on keeping the rib cage neutral in relation to the hips and the head, preventing any rotation or side flexion. Next time you're in your scissor, I want you to pause. We're going to create the scissor. As you inhale, you're going to circle your arms out to the side and keep spiraling around till you look like a scissor again. Lift your arms back up above your chest. Now I want you to go the other way. So we scissor the arms, and you're going to make a nice big circle out to the sides. This is like a windmill that we often do with our legs. Scissor first. Inhale, circle around, and lift back up. Exhale, split the arms. Inhale, circle, and lift. Your shoulders have so much more potential for movement than your hips do. If I compared it to that other hip windmill. So if you're feeling a lot of popping and clicking, I want you to pull it in so your arms are much higher away from the floor like this. Okay, I'm not trying to encourage more mobility right now, more mobility without stability. I'm actually trying to encourage fluidity as we circle around. One more, and around and up. Okay. Er, er, er. Hands behind your head. Sorry, those ers are just about my headphones. All right, let's crunch. Before you start, I want you to wiggle your pelvis around a little bit, whether that means rocking it side to side or somehow drawing figure eights. I don't even know how to describe that to you. But just feel movement at your pelvis and sense the center of the back of your pelvis where your spine's ending into your sacrum, that large triangle bone. Now settle your weight back into the center where you're right on it. And just notice exactly what part of the bone is touching the mat. I want you to keep that as an anchor point so your pelvis stays still and neutral when we flex your upper body. Now take a breath in. When you exhale, you're going to tip your chin down, curl up your head and shoulders, and look at your thighs. Now see if your pelvis is still still. We're going to stay here for a breath in. If you've moved it, correct it. And then exhale, lower back down. So let's try that 5 times just to keep focusing on the pelvis. Inhale, nod your chin as you exhale. Start to curl forward using your breath to slide the ribs to the hips. As you hold for your inhale, is your pubic bone level with your hips still? Exhale, lower back down. Inhale there. Exhale, curl up. So the sensory feedback is in the back of you. That's sacrum into the mat. Inhale here, but the visual feedback is the triangle in the front of your pelvis. Lower back down. Inhale to stay. Nod your chin, curl up. Hold for your breath in. Let your head fall back into your hands. Use your arms for that support. Lower back down. Let's do that just one more time. Inhale. Then exhale, nod your chin, flex up, look at the thighs. Inhale, check if your head is relaxed into your hands. Exhale to come back down. All right, let's do some pulses. 3 rounds of 6 pulses. Inhale before you start. Nod your chin, curl up, and just establish what the top of that flexion will be. So bottom tip of the blade still touching the mat. Now rock back a rib or two as you inhale, lift them up as you exhale. Rock back, lift up. Rock back, lift up. Let's do 3, crunch, 2, crunch, 1, crunch, and come all the way back down. Inhale at the bottom, nod the chin, flex it up again. Now rock it back for 1, exhale, lift, 2, lift. Let's check in on that pelvis. Keep the sense of the pubic bone staying heavy. 4, 5, 6, come down. I have a bad feeling that was 7, not 6. Oops. Exhale, curl up. Last set. Rock it back and lift. I'll count out loud. And up. 3, lift. 4, lift. 5, lift. 6, lift. Come all the way back down. All right, flip over onto your stomach. Okay, once you get face down, I want you to put your fingertips against your hip bones and try to flop your elbows forward. So you can see like I've kind of got a rounded upper back. Leave your head turned to the side. That's not just so I can see you who are not there. With your fingertips at your hips, put a little pressure against your hip bones, almost like you're trying to rock your pelvis backwards so that your pubic bone pushes into the floor a little bit more. We're going to do a slight lift with your upper body and rotate your head side to side, but I want you to maintain that connection we just created between your fingers and your hip bones. As you breathe in, you're going to let your elbows rise off the mat, lift your head and chest so you're looking forward. And then when you exhale, you're going to rotate your head to the other side and let your elbows sink forward. If they can't touch the ground, it's okay. As you inhale, you will always be able to pull them back when you come up to pull your shoulder blades together. And then just make a flop forward, whatever that is for you. Inhale, lift up, rotating your head through center. Exhale, drop it to the other side. Inhale, lift, opening those elbows wide like wings. Oh, that is what I feel like. I'm fluttering wings. I don't feel like a butterfly today. I feel a little bit more like a bumblebee. Can we be bumblebees? And down. One more to each side. Inhale, rise. Exhale, rotate and drop. Last one, lifting and rotate and drop. Okay, Shift your hands behind your back now. Still try to get floppy, but this might be even more awkward. I'm going to have you take your legs. They are about hip width apart, slightly turned out at your toes. I want you to bend your knees and put your heels together. So you just get a little squeeze in, heels toward your bum when you exhale. When you inhale, straighten your legs and lift them off the ground. We're going to straighten your arms by your side. Lift your head through the middle like we just did before. Turn your head to the other side, hands to your back, squeeze those heels in. Ooh, that's a lot of words. Inhale, rise up through the center, opening your chest wide. Exhale, knees hit the floor when you put your heels in. The whole leg lifts off the mat when you straighten it. Whole thigh drops back down. Inhale, lift up through the center. Exhale to lower. How you can tell I'm making it up as I go. Inhale, exhale, drop. 3 more times. Open the chest wide. Exhale, lower. Don't keep aiming to get higher. Just work on your timing of turning the head. And lift and return. That's that. Sit back onto your heels. Shell stretch. Okay, so we're going to come into a rounded spine. Take a nice big breath in, focusing on filling your back with that air. Stay here for an exhale, compressing your deep abdominal muscles. Take one more breath in, roll on up to vertical. I feel like we should get into a plank position from here. All right, we're going to do a couple things. The first one, I'd like to do a push-up, and I'd like you to do it knees down. If you want to defy me, go ahead, but remember, you don't know what's coming after this. If you're willing to play along with my style, make a straight line from your knees to your head. We are going to do smooth push-ups, no pulses, but I want you to use a shorter plank to play around with getting more range of motion, maybe, but also head, ribs, hips, knees. Everything stays in line. Here we go. It's going to be an inhale, bend your elbows, lower yourself towards the floor. Exhale, push yourself back up. Inhale, down. And exhale, lift. So we're just going to start with 5 like that. And that's really to let you feel the shoulder blades moving on your back, feel those relationships. Like I said, your vertical and your horizontal lines both matter. Okay. Now, quick, reasonably quick to drop, slow to come up. I'm going to go all the way to the floor. Slow, 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 slow. Like that. 1 count down, 4 counts up. Drop down. Exhale, lift, 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 drop flat. Lift, pull those abs in, 2, 3, 4, drop fast, slow lift, 2, 3, 4, last time, drop, slow lift, 2, 3, 4. Take the weight back towards your heels. Okay, now we're going to play around with doing a plank into a crouch. So we have to set a full plank. If your planks aren't perfect, it's okay because you're going to be moving the whole time, but still work towards this ideal of head, ribs, and hips in line with each other. So leave a little space between your feet. I want you to bend your knees and push your body weight back towards your heels into a crouch, and then shift forward to a long plank. We're going to shift back towards your heels, pull those abs in, squeeze your glutes, and return. Shift back and forward, back and forward. You've got 4. Hinge, 3, and 2. I hate when my skin pops out of my outfit. Drop your knees down. Sit your hips back. All right, plank to pike. Pike is a downward dog if you're more of a yogi than a Pilates. Is a Pilates a thing? Let's make it a thing. All right, plank it again. Get the weight of your shoulders roughly over your hands. Now, legs stay straight. You're going to send your sit bones up to the ceiling as you push your weight back towards your legs. Drop down into that plank. Pike your hips up and drop back down to plank. Inhale, lift. Keep long through your back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, pike up. Exhale, down. 2 more times. Pike. Drop. Go to the pike. Stay in the pike. And yes, you do get to run in place. Drop one heel and bend the opposite knee. And then just shift your weight back and forth. From one foot to the other. And one to the other. Let's do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I want you to go into a bent knee, sit back again towards your heels. All right, roll yourself up. I gotta keep this moving. Okay, I wanted to give you a little time to think about that alignment stuff we're talking about when you are vertical. If you guys do know me, like you know what's coming, right? Okay, we're going to go into a staggered stance. There's a lunge series coming. Okay, so let's just play with what the heck that means. When I'm doing a lunge, I need my back heel off the floor so that my ankle can move enough to allow the back knee to bend, and the front knee is going to bend as well. Right now, my goal, head to knee in a straight line, vertical when I'm down. Now, if your posture isn't optimal and that's why you're here, put your hands on top of your head with your elbows forward a little bit. And I just want you to use that as more sensory feedback about where you are in space. If you can sense the top of your head, it's easier to make sure your chin's still lifted and you're doing that invisible string up to the ceiling thing. Next time you're down, stay down. Oh, let's keep the hands here. This is marvelous. Okay, holding your lunge, rotate towards your front knee and then back to center and rotate and center. So I'm still maintaining that alignment. I can imagine the skewer and I'm just turning these individual chunks around the skewer. And let's do 3 more times. Rotate, return, 2, 1, face the front. All right, here's the predictable part. Extend your back knee and shift your body weight forward so you're in a fencer's lunge. Pause when you get there the first time. Now, feel your foot pushing into the floor. So the ball of the foot is propelling you forward. The crown of your head is still reaching away from the foot. Bend your back knee, find vertical. Head up to ceiling. Hinge forward. Head angles towards where the wall meets the ceiling. Hit that lunge, you're vertical. Lean forward. Power it from that back hamstring and then the back quad pushing, the back hamstring grabbing you, pulling you back. Reach and tuck. Press out. I hope that front thigh is getting a little tired from holding all your weight. Lean it forward again. And I want you to pulse, deepening that bend into your front leg. Pull your abs in, get that hinge forward. Hands here still good. You may want to touch front and back, just know where you are in space. 2 more. Okay. Come back up to vertical. Hope that makes killing you. Turn to the center. Turn back. Center, that's just your transition. Back. Center, but so good for your hips. And center. 1 more time to the middle. Stand up tall. Okay. Pivot to the other side. Let's do all this to the other in the other direction. Just start that lunge to lift pattern. And I wanted to get you moving right away, but just reminders, back heels off the floor, both legs are parallel, you're sensing kneecap opposing head. 2 more times. I wish I didn't have headphones on right now because you just took like the garbage or the recycling. Come on back down and make sure you're set, you're vertical, your abs are in, twist towards your front knee and return. And whatever vehicle it was, just made the most glorious, like, moaning, deflating, dare I say, farting noise. It was spectacular, and I just wish I had it recorded. Oh well. Just has to live on in my memories now. 3 more times. 2. And 1 more time. All right, let's do that hinge forward, my favorite move in the world. Push with the ball of the foot. Feel that back leg straighten the tightness in your quad as you hinge forward, and then return, pulling back from that hamstring. Reaching forward, and never lose a sense of the relationship. I'm always about my head reaching away from my foot. I'm pushing back to go forward. Oh yeah, I'm pushing back to go forward. I love that. That feeling, not that I said that. 2 more times. Stay forward. Okay. Pressing the weight down into that thigh. So I'm just a plank, head to leg. 2 more. Okay, come back to that back bent knee. We just got to transition. Center, return. Middle, return. For 3. So I'm pivoting on the ball, flat foot. All right, stay there. Get rid of those arms. All right, bounce around a little. That is a real exercise. I really want you to participate and just kind of move those legs around to soften them up. Okay, center yourself, still in this plie, knees nice and wide over your toes, arms out to the side, ready to hug. As you exhale, round your spine, hug in. Inhale, open your arms, look up at the ceiling. Exhale, flex forward. Inhale, expand. Exhale, round. And up 3 more times to curl. Lift your heart. And 2. And lift. 1 more time, flex. And lift. Same big hugging arms. But now I want you to side bend as if you were turning a real big steering wheel. Over and over. Let's do 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. All right, so you felt a nice, big, glorious side bend. Come on back up. Yeah, I think behind your head. I want you to do those side bends again with your legs straight. Isolate just your upper body. So not necessarily too big, but a little more focused on this expansion of the upper rib shoulders. Come back to the middle, sit back down, and now let the upper body still go, but add the hips. So you can see now I'm making a full C shape to each side. Now, can we move this up and down? So you're going to go side to stand. When you get to the top, it's just the upper body, but as you bend, it's the hips again. Twice more and you're done. And up, we get less hips, just the upper body. Back down. Down, down, down. 1 more time. Up, 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 up. Drop down, 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 down. Push yourself up. Clap for yourselves. You are all done for today. I hope to see you soon.